Ah, we've increased Shale's approval enough that we all get a small strength boost when he is in the party. So you've told us about your time in Honnleath, but how did you end up in Honnleath? Do you remember?
Oh yes, that I remember quite well. My former master, the Mage Wilhelm, he brought me. As I recall, he had acquired some position with whatever lord ruled the land. I, being little more than a glorified possession at the time, was brought along. Oh, how he enjoyed impressing the villagers with me. Gollum snarl at that villager there, be fearsome. And of course, I would have to do it.
Do you remember anything before Honnleath?
I traveled with the mage. He did a lot of traveling, I remember that. But where we went, it is rather fuzzy. I remember great battles, fighting many humans long ago. They were all very soft and squishy. And before that, No, there are only images. I was somewhere dark.
So just how old might you be exactly?
I have no idea. Wilhelm used to brag that the dwarves stopped making golems centuries ago. I do not age as you soft creatures do. Sadly, my memory is no better. Plus, I get bored and stop paying attention.
Fair enough. Oh, okay. I think I'm done with questions for now.
Good. I was just about done talking about it. It does like to have a good chat now and again, doesn't it?
Why, yes. Okay. Now it's time to check out the rest of our companions and see if they have anything new to say. So life in the wilds must have been very lonely.
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
Did they speak back?
Don't be foolish. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
What happened then?
Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
But you were just a child.
And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
Those are harsh lessons to teach a child.
Perhaps, but they were necessary still. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
Now, that's her claim, but as you may have noticed in the past, all the things that are considered good gifts to give to Morrigan and that she gives high approval of are all things that are shiny and beautiful and filled with gems or laid with gold. So It may well be that she's not quite as cured of her interest in pretty baubles as she likes to claim. Tell me, are you really Flemeth's daughter?
I assume you were actually asking whether Flemeth herself gave birth to me. Truly, I do not know. I once asked Flemeth that very question, and she merely laughed at me. 'Tis not inconceivable that she could capture a chastened man, or perhaps change to a more attractive form to attract him willingly. I find it more difficult to imagine her with child.
She was not always as old as she is now, was she?
As a matter of fact, I remember her being younger once. She had black hair, much like my own, long and lustrous. But how could that be if she is centuries old? Has she become wizened only recently? Or are the tales of her legend only that, and nothing more? I do know the tales of Flemeth having many daughters, even though I have never met another, and Flemeth has always treated me as her blood.
What if you have real family out there somewhere?
I would have nothing in common with them, nor any need for what they might provide. Flemeth taught me everything I needed to learn. How to survive, the meaning of power, the truth of men. If other mothers do not teach these things, then I believe them the lesser.
Is there no place for nurturing or love?
Room for coddling and weakness? Why should such things be desirable? To indulge in love is to indulge in delusion. Surely a Grey Warden such as yourself does not believe otherwise.
That sounds very cynical.
Cynicism is a trait of the true survivor. Considering your situation, you would do well to remember that.
Oh, once again, not quite seeing eye to eye with Morrigan, who insists that power is the be-all and end-all of life. Okay, that's all the new dialogue from our companions thus far. And so we will now be proceeding to Orzammar. And of course, now we need to decide our party. Now, normally, I like to put in the characters that we've most recently picked up to go in the next quest, in which case would be Zevran and Shale. However, I'm going to go ahead, because the Dwarven quest is actually one of the longest quests in the game, I'm going to go ahead and split it into two parts. So, the second part, I will have Zevran and Shale in the party, because especially in the case of Shale, it'll be important for story purposes. So for the first half, we're going to choose some of our other companions. We still always want to have a rogue in the party, so Liliana will be one.
Indeed.
And let me think. Let's see. Let's have Morrigan
Indeed.
there. And we'll let Dog go on a major quest. Well, actually, I'm trying to set this up so that we get enough different interactions as possible. Dog has a few interactions, but he tends to have fewer than the other characters. So actually, I'll go with Sten again.
Yes.
Because it's always nice to have a solid fighter. And Dog's a pretty good fighter, but he's not quite as tough and as powerful as Sten is. Okay. Off to the Frostback Mountains, below which is Orzammar.